right, so today I am going to be pressing Hulk 340 for Izzyverse NYC. This is a double-signed book by Peter David and Bob Wycheck. But before I get into that, you all need to just stop for a second and go over to Mad Spidey. I will leave his YouTube address in the description. This guy's been grinding, has one of the best live shows Saturday night, basically open for all. It's always packed. You can only have 10 people max, and people drop out, people drop back in. He's got great statue reviews, big Marvel guy. Go check out his channel. He's at like 800 and something subs. He should be well over 1,000 by now, but yet he's not. So go over there, check that out, come back and watch my video. All right, so what do we have? We have an imperfect book, but it is on the higher side of mid-grade. And what I mean by that, it's like, 7.5, 8.0-ish in my opinion. Got a lot of dings, spine ticks. Corners aren't too bad. Book is clean. Back cover looks pretty good. But needs a little love. And I own this book. I don't have a signed copy. Mine is also in doozy. So I'm going to see if I can try to get some of this out. Or most of this out. However, you can't undo a color break. So you got a couple color breaks there, which are going to bring this book down a little bit. But I'm sure a double-sided Hulk 340, if it came back like an 8.0, he'd probably be very excited with that. So let's start by getting some steam on this and getting this sucker in the press. Okay, whenever I'm pressing a book, I always, there's the press. I always start with a backer board at the centerfold. Why? Because it makes up some of that gap of the staple, so you're not smushing this and making a staple mark in the spine. It kind of helps fill some of that void when you're pressing the book, if that makes sense. So I don't plan on adding a ton of moisture to this book. I just want to get some on the spine and maybe a little bit on this cover, a tiny bit on the back cover, to press out some of these imperfections. So typically, if I'm using a lot of moisture, I would do silicone parchment paper on the inside, on the bottom, on the top, so on and so forth. But because I'm really looking at trying to get a better press and not use as much moisture, I am going to use cardstock. This is not a backer board. This is basically a super thick sheet of paper, which actually has been my best friend. I started using them a few months ago, and they really help get some of these imperfections out without adding that line sometimes up the spine, if that makes sense. So let's get the steamer fired up. Ah, the old comic book smell, like roses. All right, so cardstock inside this back cover, so I can get it separated. I did give this book a once over with a cotton round, but it's pretty clean. I didn't want to disrupt it. It doesn't have a lot of white, so I didn't bust out an eraser for it. Cardstock. And then on my metal plate, I already have a silicone parchment sheet. And I always like to make sure I have the book flat, because one time I stuck it on a plate, folded the back cover, pressed it, and made the book worse. So learn from your mistakes. Silicone parchment paper on top. All right, so I'm over at the press, and this is preheated to 160 degrees. Just making sure nothing shifted on me. And reason I'm doing 160 is because I always like higher heat for pulp books. I think it just gets a little more out with that heat output. Modern books, I'd probably have it at 135. Super low pressure, just because that paper's so sensitive. You can cause spine stress, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to leave this in here for 5 to 6 minutes under heat, and then I'm going to shut the heat off and let it sit in here about 3 hours or more until I know this press has cooled off completely. And then I'll take it out and see what it looks like, and see if I have to repeat this process again to get some of the other imperfections out. But usually the first try gets most of the big issues out. Not always, but we'll see what happens. Survey says looking pretty damn good. Yeah, that spine looks way better. You got a couple ticks, but you can't fix them. One corner is a little blunt. I got a little something right there. Damn it. See that? Right there. See, let's go on one more time. Back looks nice. That cover looks, you know, little wear on the edge, but other than that, nice. So I'm going to steam this one more time. Just really this area right here, right where between the yellow, blue, and black. You can kind of see that little flaw in the cover there. But outside of that, I am pretty happy with it. So hit this one more time, try to fix that little issue. And I think we got like a, you know, like I said, like an 8.0-ish book. I mean, it's a badass book, double signed. And that is that. So hopefully, if you haven't already, you went over and subscribed to my man, Mad Spidey. So if you did, thank you. I appreciate that. If you don't mind, hit that like button and subscribe to me so you can see more of my videos in the future. See you guys next time.